Do hardwood floors help sell your house? Yeah, they surely do. Let's get into this. But first, I want to talk about Remax President Amy Lessinger. Amy Lessinger decided she's going to retire. Now, Remax has been going through issues as the as multiple state and Association of Realtors. Remax is going through some major, and I think this is telling because what we're seeing here is we're seeing a dynamic shift from traditional agencies or brokerages go from typical brick and mortar to everybody's working at home. I've worked at home for 30 years. Even before I bought this house, I was working out of my house. Even before I got into real estate, I worked out of my house. I was in publishing and I would get so much more work done because I didn't have to commute, put in the extra hours, and I was successful doing it. I do the same thing here. Take a break every hour, walk around the house, make calls, sweep, do my chores, do whatever. You're very productive. You can sit on the couch and work. You can take longer lunches. But what we're seeing here is a dynamic shift from being in an office where you can control everything to letting people do their own thing. And you either sink or swim. You either get out there and hustle. I don't care if you're an engineer, a director, a CEO, you either get out there and hustle and make your life work or you don't. And if you're working out of your house, there's a certain mindset that you have to have. Remax, a traditional brick and mortar brokerage known throughout the entire world, one of the largest brokerages in the world, financially struggling. They were named in the major NAR lawsuits. They had to help shell out for all that. And Amy Lessinger, I believe she was an interim president. If you're frustrated with what's going on at Remax or any other brokerage, come to where I am. I'm at a virtual brokerage. I have access to brokers. I have access to administration. I have access to legal. I have access to marketing. I have access to everything I need, just like what Remax offers. And I have a dynamic cap for my compensation, and I can build a team. I'm building a smaller team that's self-initiating. They keep working and working. The way they teach you at Remax, the way they teach you at KW and all these things is to build a team and force them to make calls and do everything that is so 1980s that it just doesn't work. I work with a couple other marketing companies that help me get my job done. Aida is one of them. Aida is a company that does everything for me. They manage the funnel, they manage the workflow, they manage social campaigns, they polish this one, and then they chop it into 3 smaller videos and post it on the social campaign manager. I have pillar pages, Willow Glen, everything here is designed to be done for you. It costs some money, but it's a worthwhile value with Aida. It's part of this company called Video Ease, and they manage all the video production for me. This is the back end of the funnel, or the top of the funnel, where you attract people. They go into the top of the funnel and then follow down. And we offer buyer guides. We offer home inspection checklists. We offer all these different things. It all goes through this Aida thing. Remax could do that too, but they don't. They charge a premium for being part of their brokerage. Frustrating, I know, but that's my pitch for it. It's sad that Amy is moving on, but it is what it is. Big companies tend to fall. Not every company is going to be around forever. Penny fell, Sears fell, Blockbuster fell, and Best Buy is failing. Why? Because there's not a need for big box anymore. In real estate, it's the agent and the customer, not a big, huge brokerage. If you trust in a brokerage, the brokerage is designed to create value for its stakeholders and stockholders, not you, the customer. When you're working with an agent, they're delivering value to you. So that's why big companies like this have to either change their mode of operation or move on. Enough said. Hardwood floors, is it a value? Does it increase property values? Been living here for 20 years. My dog's about 10 years old. When we first got her, she destroyed my carpets. We had hardwood floors here and there. So we decided to pull the carpets out. The girls were big enough that they weren't falling down the stairs anymore. I trusted in the fact that I can invest in that. In the beginning, I had the laminated plank stuff like Pergo, but chipped, scratched, and dented, and it didn't feel cozy. These flooring guys, they're selling the luxury vinyl plank flooring. All it is vinyl. It's linoleum that's not in a roll. It's in strips. I don't see the value in that. To me, it's still plastic. Hardwood floors deliver a value of luxury and coziness, and you do get your money back on that. My hardwood floors, we installed 10 years ago. Yes, they get scratched and dented, but you know what? They're wood, so you can refinish them. I have engineered wood on part of the house, and then the other part of the house had the original 2-inch oak strips that you see everywhere, and they're gorgeous, they're resilient, they're 56 years old, and they hold up. We sanded them down, had them refinished, and they're beautiful. When you sell a house with hardwood floors, it's an easier sell. You do get value out of it, period. And you don't see $30 million homes sold with LVP. You don't see $30 million homes sold with Pergo. Between the seams, it gets mopped and then it rises up because it's compressed sawdust. When it gets wet, it expands like a sponge, and it just makes realize, you know what, I have to replace those floors. Hardwood flooring doesn't have that problem. Yes, you can get water termite problems, dogs peeing on them, but it's more resilient, it's fixable, and it makes it look better for longer. And you can take engineered wood, sand them down, refinish them a couple times. Same thing with original hardwood floors. It just makes it feel better, and they're longer lasting. My 2-inch slat are 56 years old. They lasted forever. I could put another couple sands on them. They're going to last a lot longer. And yeah, you can paint it or you can stain it, but that paint will chip and fray. So just be careful about that. If you're thinking about redoing your floors, getting rid of your carpets, invest. It's going to cost more than the plank flooring, than the Pergo, than the LVP, but it lasts a whole lot longer. Enough said. Rates today are going crazy, 7.4. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. Rates aren't going to come down. They seem to be ticking up. We had it down to 6.14 at one point in September. Is anything going to change? Probably. But right now, there's such a low inventory and volume isn't that high because buyers are still hibernating from the winter. I see that there's a lot of houses that are going up for open house this weekend. I have an open house at my listing in Hollister. I have a couple other houses coming down the pike here pretty quick, but we're probably going to put them up on March or April. There's always going to be buyers, right? And should you buy now? Yeah, because there's less buyers out there. When rates come down, you can refinance. We can have a conversation with your lender or my lender and understand a little bit better about what you're going to be delivered. Home inspection checklist. If you're thinking about selling, get this checklist done, bring it in. Let's get this house ready to sell. Or even if you want to start doing your spring cleaning early, download this checklist and start working on your honey-do list. My honey-do list is probably a mile long. Every time I walk somewhere in my house, it gets longer and longer. I'm about ready to hire 3 of my handymen just to come through and do a final sweep of my house and get it, get it tuned up for the spring. This one is what you get for $2 million in Santa Clara County. I picked Gleason because it's a 7-bedroom. It's in Campbell. It's really San Jose, but it's Campbell area. It's a nice looking house. It's a really big house. Looks like a big Shea house, but it was added on in the back. When you look at the drone photos, it's a beautiful house. It's a little dated in the bathroom and the kitchens, but it's a nice looking house. You have tile, linoleum. It has a pool. But this whole area right here is the add-on. They just went right on top of the house. This was the original house and they added on back here. I'm going to take a look at it this weekend after my open house or maybe Sunday. This is what you get for $1 million. This is in Gilroy, but it's a gorgeous house, 3,000 square feet, 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. Not my listing, built in 1988. What I like about it is it looks like you're in a forested area. It does have a pool. It's nicely tucked away near the hills. This is the house right here, but it's not in the fire zone. So that's good, especially with what's going on in Palisades and LA, the fires there. You got to protect yourself here. Part of what I look at is the value. I also want to make sure you're going to be protected. With all my clients, when I help them find a house, I want to make sure that they're looking for a house that's not in the fire zone. This is a perfect house because it's on 2,200 square feet. It's not in the country either. So you don't have to worry about propane or septic or well water utilities. And yeah, it's dated. That's why it's $1 million and it has a nice black bedroom. I can tell you the boy lived there. Ask me how I know. I would get rid of all this carpet and put hardwood floors in there. See all the nasty stains, get rid of or refill that pool and fix it up. I think this is a great pool. I'm going to take a look at this as well. And last but not least, the 12 Bay Area County month report. This is a final report for last year. You see that inventory has just dropped down to almost nothing everywhere. If you compare and contrast, the numbers have just dwindled. If you look at Santa Clara County, we're at 500 single family homes for sale right now. We need to be about 2,000 for Santa Clara County. Same thing with San Jose. We're at 224. We need to be about 1,000. Inventory has dwindled to nothing. And the big blue lines is the US median per month supply. Same thing here. It's the same chart, but I just put it there for your view to compare and contrast. So everything is below 2 months except for a couple cities.